Hello everyone, today I will discuss about previous topic which is law of conservation of linear momentum. I already discussed all this. So just look at here. If external force equals to 0, then dp by dt equals to 0, right? Because if external equals to dp by dt, now that means p equals to constant. Right, that means it indicates that if external force on any system is 0, then the total momentum of that system will be constant. This is law of conservation of linear momentum, which states that in the absence of an external force, the total momentum of a system remains constant and does not change with time. For two-dimensional motion, if we assume that this is a two-dimensional motion, that means the force, that means the F external has two components. One is along x-axis, which is Fx, and the another one along y-axis, which is Fy. So now if x vector equals to, we can write dpx by dt, and if y vector equals to, we can write dpy by dt. What are the px and py? Px and py are the components of p vector, that means total momentum of the system, which contain here are due to here we assume that this system hold only two bodies, m1 and m2. So p indicate total momentum, that means momentum of m1 and momentum of m2, sum of these two bodies, momentum of these two bodies. Okay, so if we assume that fx not equals to 0 and fy equals to 0, then px not equals to constant and py equals to constant. That means along x-axis total momentum is not conserved, but along y-axis total momentum is conserved. This yields an interesting result that the law of conservation of momentum can be applied separately for any direction provided force acting in that direction is 0. So that means this law of conservation we can apply separately in any direction, like x-axis, like y-axis, and like z-axis. Now prove that Newton's second law is a real law. So first I am going to prove first law from second law. Okay, so or we can say I am going to derive first law from second law. Let a body of mass m is subjected to an external force F vector if the acceleration produced in the body b a vector, then from second law we can write force equals to product of mass and acceleration, right? If F vector equals to 0, then ma equals to 0. Now here that means product of mass and acceleration equals to 0. But we know about that mass not equals to 0. Mass of any body cannot be 0. So a vector should be 0. So this is first law. Because according to first law, if external force, or if we can say net force of any body is 0, then the body remain its initial state. That means the body does not accelerate. So this is proved. Newton's third law derive from second law. So now I am going to derive Newton's third law from second law, or we can say law of conservation of momentum. So we know from second law impulse equals to change in momentum. Impulse means force into time equals to change in momentum. So here I am assuming that two body A and body B, just look at here, body A and body B. So if these two body collide to each other, then force on B body by A body is indicated by FBA vector. So FBA vector indicate force on B body exerted by a body. Okay, and similarly according to, so if this body exerted force on B body, then obviously B body also exerted force on A body. This is Newton's third law, right? So force on A body exerted by B body is indicated by FAB. If we assume that they are collide for delta t time, then change in momentum of A body delta p1 equals to force on A body into time duration, right? So FAB vector into delta t equals to delta p1, and this is about B body. So delta p2 indicate change in momentum of B body, and FBA vector is the force on B body, and delta t is the time duration. So now here FAB equals to force exerted on the body A by body B, and FBA equals to force exerted on the B body by body A. During collision, the bodies are the two parts of two combined body, and no external force is acting on this combined body. According to Newton's second law, there should be no change in momentum of the combined body. So here no external forces exerted on this body, and they are combined. So if no external forces exerted on this combined body, then we can say that net momentum, or we can say that total momentum of this combined body cannot change. That means momentum of A body plus momentum of B body gives us total momentum of this combined body. So here no external force exerted, that means all, and we know about that all these forces are internal forces, right? So in this situation external force equals to, just look at here, so in this situation if external equals to 0 on this combined body, that means total momentum of this combined body is 0, and total momentum means momentum of A body plus momentum of B body, which is 0. So delta P1 plus delta P2 equals to 0. Delta P1 equals to what? If AB to delta T plus if BA into delta T equals to 0. Now from this equation we will get if AB equals to minus if BA. This is Newton's third law. This is action and this is reaction. So action reaction pair. Okay. Now I am going to discuss about few problem on this chapter. Just look at here, free body diagram. Not a problem, it's all the derivation. Two bodies connected by a string passing over a smooth pulley. So just look at here, this is the pulley and this is the string, and two body connected with this string. Here we assume that this pulley and the string both are massless, okay, and also frictionless. So just look at here, this body has mass m1, so gravitational force on this body is along this side, which is m1g, and tension is along this side. Always tension acted far away from the connecting point, right? So this is our connecting point and the direction of tension is along this side, and this is the another body which mass of this B body is m2 and gravitational force on this body is m2g, and also tension force is T, because this is a same string. That's why tension on both sides is similar. If this pulley has mass, then obviously these two tension cannot be same. This two tension cannot be same, but here we assume that, and also if the string has mass, then also this two tension cannot be same, but here we assume that this pulley and the string both are massless. That's why tension in whole part will be same. Okay, so here we assume that m1 greater than m2. So if m1 greater than m2, that means we know about that this body coming along this direction and this body lifted along this direction, right? So that means the acceleration of this body is along downward, and the acceleration of this body is upward. So if we take or draw a free body diagram of B body, just look at here, this is a free body diagram of B body. So this is the gravitational force m2g, this is the tension and acceleration, this is the direction of acceleration. So for B body, net force equals to T minus mg, because tension should be greater than m2g, because the body moving along this direction, right? That means this force is greater than downward force. So, and we know net force on any body which is always equals to product of mass into acceleration. So m to a equals to T minus m to g. And if we take a free body diagram of A body, then just look at here, this is A body, and gravitational force on this body is m1g, which is along downward, and this is tension force, and this A body moving along downward direction, right? That means this force should be greater than T. In this case, the body moving along downward direction, that means this one is greater than T. So for A body, m1a equals to m1g minus T, because net force on A body, which is equals to product of mass and acceleration. So from these two equations, if we add these two equations, then we will get, just look at here, take a common acceleration. So m1 plus m2 into A equals to m1g minus m2g, tt cancel, because plus t minus t cancel to each other. Just add equation 1 and equation 2, then we will get this form. Then just find out acceleration is, so A equals to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. So this is the value of acceleration. Okay, so if we put this value in equation 1, you can put equation 1 and also equation 2. Here I am putting this value in equation 2, then we will get, just put the value of acceleration in equation 2. So then after solving, we will get the tension. So tension equals to m1g minus this. Just solve this equation, m1 m2 LCM, and just take m1g common, so it's outside of this bracket. So after solving this, we will get T equals to 2m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. Okay, now this is our tension which is exerted in this string, and this is the acceleration of these two bodies. Both bodies have same acceleration, okay, because they are connected with a string. Next, two bodies connected by a string, one body placed on the smooth table. Just look at this picture. This is a pulley, and this is our string. This one end of this string connected with this body, and another end of this string connected with this body. This body is hanging, and this one is placed on the smooth table. So if this body is heavier than this one, then obviously this body moving along this side, that's been downward direction, and due to the movement of this body along this direction, this body moving along forward direction, right? So here I am showing all the acceleration. Just look at here, acceleration of this B body is along this side, and acceleration of A body is along this side. Here we assume that m1 greater than m2. So free body diagram of B body equals to, this is B body which has mass m2. So this is the gravitational force which is acted, m2g. This is normal reaction, and this is the tension force, and this is the direction of acceleration of B body. This is our A body, free body diagram of A body. Just look at here, A body only experience two force. Number one is gravitational force which is along downward direction, and tension force which is along upward direction, and the acceleration of A body is along the downward direction. Okay, so now just look at here. So net force on this body, just look at here, these two forces balance to each other, because no motion observed on this body along this vertical direction, right? That means m2g balanced by n. The body moving along this side, that means the motion of this body the cause of motion of this body is tension T. So tension T is the net force on this body. So just look at here, we know m to g equals to, for B body m to g equals to n, because along vertical direction body has no motion. All forces are balanced along vertical direction, but along horizontal direction the body moving with acceleration a, that means m to a equals to t, right? For a body, just look at here, a body moving along downward direction, so net force on this a body is along downward direction, and the net force is m to g minus t. So we know net force always equals to product of mass and acceleration. So for a body, m1a equals to m1g minus t. So just add these two equations, then tension cancel to each other. Then we will get m1 plus m2 into a equals to m1g. So a equals to m1 by m1 plus m2 into g. So just put this value in equation 1. Here I am putting this value. So t equals to m2 into value of acceleration, and then we will get t equals to m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. So this is the value of tension force and this is the value of acceleration. Okay. Next condition is, if two bodies connected by a string, one body placed on the smooth inclined plane and another one is hanging. So just look at this picture. This is a inclined plane, okay, and inclination angle is theta. This is our pulley, and these two bodies connected through this pulley, and this two body connected by a string, and just this is the string, okay, this is a string, and just look at here this body. So now I am showing all the forces which are acting on this a body. So just look at here, always gravitational force acted vertically downward. So this force acting vertically downward, that means if this force acted vertically downward, then this force has two components. One component is along this side, because if this inclination angle is theta, then this angle is also theta, okay, and this component is m1g cos theta, and this component is m1g sin theta. These two are the components of m1g vector, and along this direction normal reaction acted. We know normal reaction always perpendicular to the connecting surface. So this is the direction of normal reaction, and along this side, due to this string, tension force arises here. For this body, just look at here, this body experiences gravitational force along this direction, that means downward direction, which is m to g, and along this direction tension T. Here I am assuming that this body is heavier than this one, that means this body moving along this side. That means this body lifted along this side. Here I am assuming that m1 greater than m2. Okay, this body is much heavier than this body, and this body is moving along this direction with acceleration. So obviously this one is moving upward direction with same acceleration, because both are connected through a string. So here I am showing all the forces. That means here I am showing free body diagram of a body. So just look at here, this is m1g, this is m1 g cos theta, this is m1g sin theta, this is tension, and this is normal reaction. In this figure you may not be show this force, because I am already taking components of this force, right? So here you can see along this direction the body has not experienced any motion, right? So along this direction all the forces should be balanced. So for a body, m1g cos theta should be equals to n, normal reaction, right? The body experience motion, or we can say the body experience acceleration along this direction, and the direction of acceleration downward. So obviously the body has net force along this direction. So net force m1a equals to, so that means if body moving along this direction, that means this component should be equals to tension. So m1g sin theta minus t, this is the net force on this body, which is equals to m1 into a, right? So And for what about B body? Just look at here, B body experience only two forces, one is m2g and another one is t, and the body moving upward direction, that means body accelerate upward direction, that means need force on this B body m2a equals to t minus m2g. Okay, so just look at here, this is our equation 1 and this is our equation 2. If we add these two equation, here I am adding this two equation, then we will get m1 plus m2 into a equals to m1g sin theta minus m2g. Tt cancel both cases because this is minus t and this is plus t. So after solving this, we will get acceleration a equals to m1 sin theta minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. Just put this value in any equation, equation 1 and equation 2. So here I am putting the value of this acceleration in equation 2. So m2a equals to t minus m2g, t equals to what? m2 into this is the value of acceleration minus m1 m2g. Just solve this and we will get this form. Here I am solving this and finally we will get this form. So tension equals to what? Tension equals to m1 into sin theta minus 1 minus 2m2 by m1 plus m2 into m2g. Okay, so just solve this form and we will get your answer. Now this is the concurrent forces. Okay, if the forces applied to a body are such that their lines of action meet at a single point, then these forces are called concurrent forces. So if all the forces acting or meet at a single point, or we can say if all the forces act at a single point, then we can say they are concurrent forces. So just look at here, I am taking three forces, F1 force, F2 force and F3 force, and you can see here all the forces meet at this single point. So that means these three forces are called concurrent forces. Okay, so here I am resolute all the forces. Just look at here, this F1 force make alpha 1 angle with positive x-axis, F2 force make alpha 2 angle with positive x-axis, and F3 force makes alpha 3 angle with positive x-axis. Okay, so if we resolute this F1 vector, then just look at here, we will get one component along this side which is F1 cos alpha 1 and component along this side which is F1 sin alpha 1. Now I want to resolute F2 vector. Just look at here, if this is alpha 2, this is alpha 2, right? That means what about this angle? This angle should be 180 degree minus alpha 2 because this whole angle is 180 degree and this part is only alpha 2. That means this angle is 180 degree minus alpha 2. That means